Reviewing Golden Sun is a bittersweet task for me. With the way my memory issues work, my brain tells me that I really liked the game, yet I remember nothing of it. Playing it brought up a lot of emotions of sadness and frustration because I don't remember the person I was that played it all the way back in the early 2000s. But I also felt joy from rediscovering this long-forgotten classic. What's it like? Don't worry about asking your parents to grab some AA batteries for your Game Boy Advance. Just kick back and reminisce as we review Golden Sun for the Game Boy Advance app on Nintendo Switch. For this review, our scoring system will be adjusted to the hardware of the original release. Before we jump into the Golden Sun review, would you mind liking and subscribing? It's the best way that creators like me get found on YouTube, and I can't thank you enough for doing so. Golden Sun is a classic JRPG in its purest form from Camelot Software and Nintendo, who brought us the subliminal Mario Golf RPG on the Game Boy Advance. The story follows Isaac, an adept who can use synergy and almost telepathic-like magic, and his village has been sworn to protect it with secrecy. On the third anniversary of a tragedy that almost destroyed the village, peace is once again shattered by the arrival of two mysterious strangers, and this sets off a turn of events that sees Isaac and close friend Garrett leave the shelter of Mount Aleph and restore and recover the power of the elemental stars and bring back peace to the world. Along the way, they will forge friendships, solve puzzles, and fight through hordes of enemies to achieve their goals. It may seem like a tried and true RPG trope, but it's a well-told story that kept me engaged where most RPGs tend to lose me by overdoing expository dialogue and burying you with too many mechanics and tutorials. There is one exception for my previous statement, and that is the prologue, which does have a tendency to feature a lot of back and forth, exposition, and tedium. And it's a shame because some players may be put off and never complete the game. But I implore you to battle it out until you leave Mount Aleph, which opens up the game and the mechanics into the wonderful adventure it is. The gameplay features some devious puzzles including multi-level dungeons, an excellent turn-based combat system, and its rather unique Jinn elemental system. Throughout the world there are small creatures called Jinn who belong to one of four elemental types, which are Venus, Jupiter, Mars, and Saturn, or Earth, Wind, Fire, and Water. Setting these Jinn tier characters increases their stats and performs either a strong elemental attack or gives your party some defensive or offensive buffs. Using a Jinn then sets them to standby, allowing you to use their elements to summon further attacks before resetting them to their respective characters. Multiple Jinn elements can also allow for powerful summons, akin to the Final Fantasy series. This system adds a fair amount of strategy and depth into combat, buffing the party, and then balancing standby elements for summons or attacks. Your characters also have a range of magic and physical attacks that they can use both in and out of combat. The higher the level, the more proficient they will become, starting with casting a simple flare to channeling the destructive power of a volcano. All the standard gear and equipment systems are also in place to help you strengthen your characters, and the game manages to maintain a consistent difficulty curve throughout your adventure. Graphically, Golden Sun pushed the Game Boy Advance to its limits, remembering the hardware was based on technology similar to the Super Nintendo's architecture. The game features some incredible spell effects, detailed sprites, and a huge world to explore. The game uses stylized animations to accentuate critical or heavy hits, making you feel like you're dishing out some punishment. And the camera pans during some spell effects, giving the game an almost 3D feel. These sort of features were ahead of their time back in the day, and to me, it still holds up as a very immersive experience. Speaking of immersion, the game's musical score is very well done considering the limitations of the hardware. It ranges from a relaxing tempo while strolling through the green fields of the world map, to expertly building tension and creating a sense of urgency when the walls crumble around you. Motoi Sakuraba did a stellar job of conveying the chaos and calm of the world of Golden Sun with his epic musical score. There are some modern improvements on the Game Boy Advance app, and it makes Golden Sun an even better experience on the Nintendo Switch. You can create and restore save points like with all other titles, making saving so much easier. And you can also emulate the old school visuals by giving the game a dot matrix overlay. While many people ask why you should do this, it actually makes the game look better while in docked, in my opinion, and both modes look great on a smaller display. The Switch version of Golden Sun and Golden Sun The Lost Age will allow you to emulate the link cable to transfer your save across, but I'll talk about that a bit more when we review the sequel. Golden Sun will take you around 20 to 30 hours to finish, depending on how fast you travel through the story. There's plenty to explore, levels to unlock, and gin to collect. I spent most of my playthrough talking to villagers and NPCs to uncover as much as I could about the world, and everyone has something to say, of varying usefulness. It's clear Camelot and Nintendo carefully crafted this world with love and a lot of attention to detail to make something amazing that still holds up, in my opinion, to today's tough standards. Golden Sun is an incredible game that I've been fortunate to experience for the first time again. It's an enthralling story that may have some common tropes, but it's engaging and rapidly moving once you get past the start. You care about the characters in the world, which are full of charm and personality. Its unique systems are interesting and simple to use, allowing for a fun adventure full of puzzles, magic, and intrigue. Since it's free to all members of the Nintendo Switch Online expansion pack, it's really not hard at all to encourage everyone to give it a go and collectively cross our fingers that Nintendo revisits this dormant franchise and brings more people into the world of Golden Sun. I award it a 90 out of 100. Thank you so much for watching my video. I hope you enjoyed it. Because of amazing people like you, What's It Like is now my full-time job. I also do want to do a special shout out to my Patreons, S Hill, K Skip, and D Kite. I couldn't have done it without your support. Thank you.